Welcome to the Spa Girls podcast, the self-publishing podcast for authors. You're in the right place for the best writing, marketing and publishing advice, plus interviews with industry experts and best-selling authors. I'm Cheryl Phipps.
I'm Shar Barrett.
I'm Wendy Vella.
And I'm Trudy J. Hello. Welcome to the spa. This week, we're talking about how to turn setbacks into success, which I love the idea of. Dun, dun, dun. And
We all have them.
Yes, yes. And it's something that can either spiral you down into the doom and gloom of what the heck am I doing, or it's something you can learn from and move on from and maybe even, I don't know, create something even better. Like, you know, you can. Absolutely. Yeah. So we had some little sayings that we've picked up along the way, and we're going to talk about each of them because we love them so much, and just kind of use examples and for why they work. So the first one is embrace the rain. Go.
Well, rain is very good for the garden, and sometimes you need rain to make things grow. How's that?
Yeah,
that's right. That's
so
right.
Sometimes
and rain can wash away mistakes, can't it? Rain can maybe make things soggy, and then you can dry them out and see what's left.
Because there's a very like we can sit inside the house and go, oh, it's raining, this is awful, and I just want to get outside and just want to do something else. Whereas if we can look at the rain in a different way, like when Zoe was little, we used to put our jackets on and put our gumboots on and go play in the rain and actually jump in puddles, and that was the best time ever. Like we had the most fun doing that. Zoe was a little monkey when it came to jumping in puddles and wanting to get wet and loving the mud. Oh my God, the mud. So it doesn't always have to be bad is the point of embrace the rain, right?
No.
So embrace the bad things that come your way. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, so
I think so. And just understand, though, I think the most important thing too is remember that the sun does always come out at the end, right? The rain does stop. And so it might feel like a cascade of things happening.
While you're in it.
While you're in it, it can feel like this is how it's going to be. This is the weather permanently, but it's not.
And the thing is, it takes a lot of strength to try to pull yourself out of that. Like,
very much.
I remember the first time my Facebook account was shut down, and I was just like, well, that's it. It's all over. Because that's the instant reaction, right? But
and the thing is, you're never going to sit there and say, thank you so much, Facebook, for shutting my account down. Like, we're not talking, we're not turning ourselves into martyrs here or living in La La Land, but
human nature is a reaction, right? And we react to things. That's how we roll. So when we're happy, we're happy. When we're sad, when we're annoyed because Facebook shut our accounts, you spiral, and you can feel it. And it's understanding that you will bounce back up.
Yeah. And it's human to feel that too, I think. Part of embracing the rain is actually understanding that it's raining and you don't have to like it, but everybody actually has to go through it at some point.
Even a lot of that, it's like, okay, so the account gets shut down, but what did that do? It made you look for other ways to do the same thing that Facebook does. And
after I got out of bed,
after you whatever, but you
acknowledge it, right? You got to acknowledge it too.
Sure,
yes,
I'm not saying ignore the rain or ignore what's happened, but it's like if the idea is embrace the rain. So and it's looking for something, like, so now you've got other things that you do that are just as good as using Facebook ads.
Absolutely.
I mean, you earn more money now than you did when you were doing those Facebook ads. It's not like it's hampered you or stopped you.
No, someone else does my Facebook ads.
And that's for the best, right? Like maybe that's what
totally the best
happened. Maybe your time was not best
stress
doing
gone.
ads.
Well, my husband always says to me, I don't hear you going beep Facebook anymore. And there's a win, right? That's a win for everyone in my household.
So that just made the house happier.
Everyone's way more relaxed.
Thank you, Facebook.
Yeah, we love you, Facebook. But the thing is, for me, is like I'm a reactor insofar as I'll just go, bah! And I'm just spinning out of it, But and you know what? That's a short-term thing, and then I'll stop and I'll go, okay, what's the fix?
Yeah.
That takes a while to get.
I was going to say
to that point.
Yeah. You need a few rainy days to embracing the rain first before you jumping in the puddles first before you can then okay.
like Ross Geller says, pivot.
Absolutely, pivot.
Pivot. Okay, number 2, reheat the pasta. What does that mean?
Well, I think that means that something that looks awful to you or doesn't work right for you, maybe it does have some life in a different form. Like we can tweak it or, remold it into something that will work.
Yeah. So maybe add pesto to it.
Yeah, maybe.
I was look at it from a different angle, I think.
Yeah, like reheating
or a different mindset.
Don't eat it cold, reheat it, and it will go back to what it was the night before or whatever. Yeah.
Some things are better the next day, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking we should have said reheat the butter chicken or something. Like reheat the pasta is probably not, because I'm not sure I'd be in love with reheated pasta, but
although lasagna, sure.
Lasagna is nice. I think lasagna is better reheated the second day.
Yeah.
So the idea is perfectly good for dinner the night before. Loved it, had a great time, put it in the fridge, it's gone cold. Maybe you haven't used, you haven't done something in a while, and then you pull it out again and you go, well, what am I going to have for dinner or for lunch today? I could pick something completely new, or I could have that pasta that if I just reheat it a little.
Let's not waste it.
Let's not waste it. But also, it's going to be yummy if we reheat it a little, or we make a few changes to it. So if we
it's like a scene, right?
Yeah.
A scene. You write a scene and you think that was a kick-ass. Can I say ass? Kick-ass scene. And in actual fact, it doesn't work in that book. So you pull that scene out and you put it in your deleted scenes file that's now bigger than any book you've ever written in your life. And occasionally you'll go back and you'll go, oh, do you know what? That scene can actually work in this book. And you'll drag it out of your deleted scenes file that's bigger than any other book you've ever written and put it into your new book.
Change their eye color, do a few tweaks.
Tweak.
It's perfect for the new book.
Deleted scenes in email newsletters as content. Like there's just so many options. Before you eat chocolate and go under the bed covers, just examine what went wrong and think how you can rework it or reuse it or drag it back out.
Use something that was perfectly good and you sort of stopped using or whatever. That's a brilliant example. I can't even think of a different one. So just don't give up on something just because it's gone a bit cold, and look at ways that you can reheat it and reuse it and rejig it.
Like your backlist.
Exactly. Don't just leave those suckers sitting there.
No, that's
give them your love.
Valuable property.
Change the cover.
Absolutely.
Just do something. And
it's like I said, I've got a 7-book series. I'm looking at it, recovering, re-editing, re-blurbing, because like who writes a chapter that's 5,000 words long? Apparently I did in the early days. So what I'm saying is I'm going through those now and wondering who wrote them. But in actual fact, like that's all part of it, right? You've got this old book that's not selling. Well, why is it not selling? Let's play around with it and bring and modernize it.
Reheat the lasagna.
Perfect.
Reheat the lasagna. It's very hard to say reheat the lasagna, I have to say. Reheat the pasta as much.
Not for normal people, but hey.
Fine, okay, whatever. Let's make this about being mean to Trudy.
Number 3. Reheat the stew.
Reheat the stew. Rapunzel It is number 3. Rapunzel It. Turn straw
It's
into
kind
gold.
of similar though, isn't it? You got something.
Well, the idea with this one that I had when we were talking about it was you're writing a scene and it's crap, and it's crap, and you can't figure out why it's crap and what you're doing. And then I go, okay, Spa Girls, you need to help me with this. And we sit down and we talk about the scene, and then you guys give me brilliant ideas for tweaks that I can make, and suddenly it's a genius scene. Taking something that's not quite working, it's not so the reheat one was like, it was good originally, kind of maybe didn't quite work, and then you change it, whereas this one is like, it's not good, but it's still something that you can work on and make better. It's straw, but you can make it gold. You just need to find a process or a way to change that. And often it will be actually as writers working with other writers, or it might be working with your editor. Like I did that with my editor recently. She sat down and said, this character isn't strong enough. And I said, okay, then what do I do? And we figured it out. And now he's awesome. So it's
if something's not working, right? Something's not working. If a book's not selling, whatever, or is that what you're getting at? Like, then you need to take a look at it and tweak it. And it can be one small thing. I had an ad once that I could not get to work. Facebook ads again, we're talking, and I tweaked it, and it just went boom. It was that simple. It was that simple. And quite often it can be quite simple.
Yeah.
We could be talking keywords and categories. It's that simple.
It makes me think of that cartoon that they often see around the place, and it's someone digging and they're gold mining or whatever, looking for jewels.
And they stop
and and like literally an inch away from where they stopped is the diamond or the gemstones that they were searching for. But they're like, according to them, it's been a failure. But if they just kept going, if they just made one more change, if they just dug a little bit deeper into their characterization or into their changes they could make on Facebook, then it could have been, iteration, iteration.
Absolutely.
Sometimes just changing the point of view can bring a sentence, a paragraph, or a chapter into a whole new light.
100%. That's a massive tool. I think people don't utilize enough. I look at a chapter and it's not working for me, I'll actually quite often switch the character point of view, and it changes everything.
Because sometimes there's things that need to be said, but who says them and how they say them can be
who's got the most to lose in there, who's got the most to win in there, that's the person who should be talking.
And if a book's not selling too, or if you're running ads, for example, people are clicking on the cover but they're not buying, you need to really look at that first chapter and there's something going on there. Maybe it needs really strong editing, maybe it needs to be rewritten, So turn that straw into gold.
And that's another thing though, I think, don't think that your work is the best thing ever. You have to see the faults in it and understand that there could be something else you can do to make it better.
It's not one and done.
But then on the other side, see, I'm the other way. I'm like, don't think it's complete crap and no one will ever read it. You do have to have some confidence. It's kind of like there's a balancing act in there,
There is.
Between
I think the book is all you, right? The book is all you. That's your heart that you put yourself into and you get into. But I think when you're talking covers and blurbs and keywords and categories, that's different.
100%. Okay, number 4 is be like a dog and shake it off.
Shake it off.
So this is what my dog does, and anyone who's got a dog will know. And I now realized I've had a dog he's about 5, and we've had dogs before. Didn't notice this until someone pointed it out to me. But dogs, they'll be in a situation and he'll go and bark at someone and be really angry and aggressive, or something will happen and then he'll shake it off. And it's like it's a reset button.
They reset,
he shakes it off.
It's a true thing.
And he moves on. And honestly, it's like he's completely forgotten what just happened and he's moved forward. And he doesn't like wagging his tail, happy as Larry, we've moved forward, or he gets growled or something like that, and he's kind of, and then he shakes it off, and then he's away, and he's forgotten that he just got growled.
Wouldn't that be good if humans did that?
It would be
so good.
Maybe I'll teach my grandchildren to shake like dogs.
Well, I mean, it is a good thing to do, right? Like, just if something happens and we're feeling angry, or we're feeling sad, or we're feeling whatever, like a strong emotion that is kind of negative, that's not helpful, maybe just like experience it, feel it, and then shake it off. Like, it could even be a physical movement, whatever it takes, but just go, that's done now, let's move on, that was a mistake.
That's tough though, right? It's quite hard to do.
But you just discussed how you do it. Like, you just
I know.
Not that you do
for
it.
Me. I'm
I'm
a legend. I can clearly get over it.
All right, sorry. Okay.
No, but what it is tough. I watch my grandchildren. It's a learned thing, and you can see them, they're obsessing, and I'm like, just let it go. But what I'm saying is, it's actually a learned thing. It's quite hard to shake off things.
It is.
It's because of that word, but. I'm so angry. Well, let it go, but. You don't understand.
You don't understand. But I think the point would be that it's not helpful to you, right? To maintain
it's not
this anger at whatever, like Facebook for shutting my account. Like, you could sit there and seethe and get angry. I do this all the time, and I have to kind of go, Trudy, calm down. It's not a big deal. Like, when there's something an injustice that you feel like should be fixed, it shouldn't be like this. Well, actually, just it's often not my problem and not something I can fix. So there's like getting angry about that. But B, if it's Facebook shutting your account down, you can try to get back up. If that doesn't work, what else can you do? Shake it off, find something else. And there's always something else. If you haven't learned that there's always something else after listening to 450 episodes of the Spa Girls podcast, we have been talking in vain, because there is always something else. Every single person shows us that.
And I just want to say, if you're annoyed with people that are doing work for you, people that you are paying, and they are not living up to their end of the bargain, that is your right to say something. To you don't have to, when we say shake it off, you actually you can
shake them off.
Yes
shake them off the train.
But you still have to be proactive about things.
So this is not ignore the problem. This is not pretend it's not happening. This is like if it's if it's anger and it's moved past the point of you've gone back to your editor and said, no, this is not what I want, or you haven't done what you were supposed to do, you've discussed it, and then you're still seething about the original problem, then that's not valuable. But
address it.
Good point.
So in all seriousness, book highly recommended. It's called The Body Keeps the Score. And for anybody that's interested in kind of trauma release and that kind of thing, because it does very much get locked into the body, there's a lot of on TikTok and on Instagram. There's movements, and a lot of it is, and so it's literally moving your body to work through
somatic stuff.
But it's a fantastic book, and I think everybody should read it, just saying. Your body keeps the score. But that's what we're saying with shake it off. It's not just wearing some cape of armor that things just bounce off, because we're human, right? We're having a human experience, and things hurt, and things it's particularly with writing and creativity, it's so close to our soul and so close to us. It's very hard to deflect the slings and arrows that inevitably come from outside or within. So movement, sometimes it's even shaking, is really important.
And that's the point, that it's experience the emotion. We'd never say try and block it or anything like that. Like, feel the emotion, let it happen, but then shake it off. Like, don't let it become everything.
You've got to acknowledge it.
Wallow almost. It's anti-wallowing.
Anti-wallowing is a good one. I like that.
I mean, acknowledge it, embrace, like for a few minutes go, oh, I'm really angry, I'm really annoyed, I'm really PO'd. But
I think naming it is actually really important, because that's also helps stopping it because a lot of us can turn it inward. Like, so you might, for example, using the Facebook ad account shutdown, like for me, my automatic thing is, what did I do? I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have made my strategy based on that. Like, it's really easy to end up in that kind of, which does not help in any way whatsoever. So but moving the body. Wendy is big into Pilates, Cher was too, and Trudy does her karate. I think that also helps process a lot of the emotions that we deal with as writers.
Because you're too tired and numb and body sore to think of anything else.
And annoyed at the instructor for making you do it.
There you go. And how dare those people be young and bendy when I'm not.
I had a guy next to me this morning who could bend his legs back over his head. I was
like, stop.
Go away.
That's just ridiculous.
You
should have punched
Shake
him.
it off.
I mean,
shake it off. Shake it off.
Only possible explanation. Okay, and what was our last one? So
was jump off the cliff.
Jump off the cliff. So
not literally. Don't do that.
No, not without a giant swimming pool at the bottom.
This is for the perfectionists, the procrastinators, the I just have to do one more thingers,
the technologically adverse.
Yes, all of
the fearful.
The fearful of success, the fearful of failure, the
self-doubters.
Basically
all of us.
Yeah, everyone. Basically, this is for everyone. Sometimes you just have to jump off the cliff and assume that there is going to be a big, nice, bouncy trampoline or a pit of foam at the bottom, and it's
a Greek Islands lagoon at the bottom that you're
you're going to get wings and fly.
There you go.
That could easily happen.
Yeah. I think it's very, very easy for all of us to stand on the precipice of something, whether it is learning something new, whether it is writing something different, or writing something that's really pushing us, or changing, trying a new promotion technique, or going to a conference, or reaching out to a fellow author. It's really easy to stand on that cliff. It's safe,
and find all the reasons why you're not going to jump off
it's
that
not
cliff.
It's not necessarily comfortable, because some of the cliff is sort of starting to crumble under your feet a bit, and you got to kind of cling on.
What's something you've done? What's something you've done that's felt like that?
Everything for me, doing this podcast felt like doing that, but particularly anything to do with public speaking, when we've given whether it's running workshops or talking, it's anything like that in public is really I struggle with a lot.
Publishing the first book, because that feels like a a piece
dithering for months before pressing publish, right?
Or sending your manuscript. I'll always remember the very first time I sent a manuscript to an editor that I was paying, that's scary, man.
I know.
Like
even
somebody
now.
else that doesn't know you is like, wow.
What if it's the biggest lump of
what if they're like, don't do this, take up a new hobby.
And I've heard stories of editors doing that to people.
I know.
They're not going to do it to you.
No, they're not going to do it to you. Sorry,
and that can really
if they do,
affect
come
you.
and talk to the Spa Girls, and we'll beat them up for you. It's fine.
I mean, my first ever competition I went in, and the lady said to me, crucified me, and one lady said she reached for the sick bucket, like it was that bad. And I remember talking to Cher about it, and she said to me, shake it off, bud, just get going, but like, had that moment gone a different way, I would have walked away from writing.
So we're kind of convincing people not to jump off the cliff with these stories, I'm just saying. But
but what I was trying to say is, Cher, I had the support of Cher, who turned around and said, no, come on, let's
jump off that
this
cliff and keep going, kind of thing.
Keep going, buddy.
And there are things wrong with the book, but it wasn't that bad. And that's one person's opinion, right?
And that person should never have been saying that anyway.
They should never have said something like that.
That's awful.
No, that's right. Exactly.
Nobody deserves that.
No,
nobody.
And that's another thing. Keep your criticism kind.
Agreed. Don't give it out. If you don't want to receive it, don't give it out.
True.
Don't need to be mean. Be good. Be say what needs to be said in a calm, analytical way, and don't make it personal. That's my thing.
Okay.
Especially if you're in a group, because as much as you want people to encourage you, that's what you're offering to somebody else. Even if you don't like their work, you got to find the good in it, because that's their baby. And I think you don't want to stop somebody else from jumping off the cliff.
No, although you want to encourage them, exactly, and you want to encourage them to jump off the cliff, right? I think that's a good thing, that you want to encourage somebody to publish, or to try self-publishing, or to try this new technique or new genre or whatever. I think
jump off together.
It's kind of being encouraging, isn't it? It's like everyone working together. It's like be part of the pack. Don't be the mean hyena at the end, picking off the
snapping
at the people's at the what do they hunt? Antelopes.
Weak.
The weak antelope of the herd, as I used to say. It's and you'll only know what that is what I was doing if you watch the YouTube.
You have to be an original, an OG lister.
But it's be one of the pack, be one of the antelope, helping each other.
Encourage other people, I think is, and I think it serves you as well. But that's not why you do it. It's good to be a good person.
So I've just be a Thelma and Louise.
I think the thing is, if you think back to how much support we've had over the years, and when we very first started, we're giving back now. Was one of the reasons we started this podcast, really, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely do.
So I've added the sixth one, so now we've got 6 things instead of 5. And it's be an antelope, not a hyena. Which
we
know what that means, but it's like criticism should be kind, look after each other, that kind of thing. Like those are all so setbacks into success. So you could say that it was a setback in that it was maybe the writing isn't up to scratch, but if you can give someone the kind of feedback that will actually motivate them to make those changes, rather than them being rather than telling them they needed to puke in a sick bucket. That's not cool. That's not helpful. That's not.
Well, you don't know the person either. You know, you might be able to handle that sort of criticism, right? Someone else might not be able to. And that's what you have to be mindful of, and be polite, be constructive.
Everybody deserves the chance to try, and they can't try if they're being pulled down, all the time. So
I agree.
Perfect.
I think it's vitally important. And I think over the years we all remember the bad criticism.
Isn't that funny how we remember the bad stuff and not the good?
Absolutely, 100%. It's like reviews. I don't read reviews for that reason alone.
I remember back in the day waiting to get your manuscript back.
Yeah.
And sometimes never getting it back.
I've got 2 out there somewhere in the ether.
Yeah, I've got one.
Still, 12 years later.
I'm pretty sure they're not in any ether. I think
they're in the green bin.
They'll be shredded in the bin.
Yeah.
And I've got a mental list of the hyenas in this business as well, just so I must never forget. So
I don't think a podcast if you shared, Char. would be Gomberger.
But I think also people know who the hyenas are, don't they?
Not always.
I hope so.
Not always. There's hyenas around.
There's always new people coming through, and they don't.
It's fresh meat for the hyenas.
Yeah.
So no.
Just don't buy into the crazy.
No.
Sometimes they don the cape of an antelope, but I know that there's a hyena underneath. Just saying.
But
I think give out what you would like to get back. I think is really important.
Okay.
And I think that's the thing, I've always tried. I think we've always tried to be good and positive, and I think that comes through. I hope it comes through, but I think that's important, and I think that's people need people to be like that, especially at the moment. The world's a bit crazy, right? So if we can give a little positivity, I think it's a good thing.
I think social media can be an amazing thing, but it can also be used as a bludgeoning, judgmental thing as well. And so I think, just being...
Well, it gives everyone a voice, doesn't it?
It doesn't take much to be kind to people. And if you don't have something kind to say, sometimes just walk away and don't say it.
And I think paying it forward is a really, really good thing to live by too, because, you're going to want somebody's support someday. So...
and be grateful when somebody supports you too. I've been in a couple of group promos, like Facebook groups, and I've been astonished at sometimes how the organizer, who's doing it on their own time and dime, is treated. And I just can't. It shocks me. So
alrighty.
Don't be those
okay.
Don't be those
just
people.
Remember. You don't have to shine brightly all the time. It's okay to sparkle gently now and again.
Yes.
You can be a sparkling antelope.
That's just my take on it.
Who shakes it off and jumps off the cliff in the rain.
You can be a cliff diving,
sparkling gently,
sparkling
angel
who's just reheated the pasta. How's that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty, where can we be found? Spas?
At spargirlspodcast.com. And we would love it if you could come over to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. I've got a very sneaky goal for 2024, which is to get to over 2,000 subscribers, and we're so close. So
it has to be before 2024. That's our goal for like
no,
now.
because then I'm going to reset that goal, but that would make me very happy for January 2024. If you could.
Okay.
And if you're listening to this in January 2025, hopefully we're up to 20,000 subscribers.
Next Char's Christmas.
By then we should be 4,000, right? Like that's a long time from now.
I will do a cliff dive when we get to 20,000 subscribers. Just
naked.
Lord, you might see it.
No,
here.
Not naked. No, nobody needs to see that, Wendy. No.
Okay, so 20k. All right, I've written it down. We're getting to 20k, you guys.
It's set in stone
This
now.
is my goal.
I didn't specify how high the cliff was. Just saying.
Well, I mean,
it could be a 5-foot cliff.
I'm going to look up the definition of a cliff, and I'm pretty sure it's more than 5.
Alrighty, so we can be found at spargirlspodcast.com. We're on the socials, and if you get on YouTube, if you could give us a subscribe and a like, we would really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, and thank you all to all of our listeners. We appreciate every single one of you, and thank you for being here with us for another week. And we will be back again next week. But for now,
bye.
Bye.